Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by the sold-out Baltimore Music Awards. Let your voice be heard at the 2017 BMAs. Polls are now open for this 7th annual red carpet event honoring Baltimore. Log on to BaltimoreMusicAwards.com before December 3rd to cast your votes in all categories. Now, December 3rd is the deadline for voting. The actual ceremony is December the 5th. Yes. As I said, BaltimoreMusicAwards.com. How's everybody doing?
Alrighty.
Okay, wonderful. So I guess real quick, let's recap and introduce ourselves. Start with you, Miss.
Yes. It's Reefa.
What's up? This is your boy LA.
All right. And Diamond Kate in here. So Reefa, what's been going on?
Nothing, chilling. Just came to the realization I cannot walk to the corner store anymore.
You cannot walk to the corner store anymore.
No, I cannot walk to the corner store.
Why can't you?
For a number of reasons, but this reason this week is because the corner boys keep noticing my J's.
Okay. And they say something about them?
Yeah, they keep talking about something. Oh, you got all the J's. No, sir, I don't.
Oh, letting you know that you see you got more than one pair.
Right. Okay. You know what I mean? Like having more than one pair of J's is just out of the question. And see, since I live around a tough neighborhood, my spidey senses is telling me next time I go to the store, I'm gonna wear like my
flip-flops
or something. It's too cold for the flip-flops, so I'm gonna just wear some felines or something like that. Something that's a little dull.
So you have a lot of sneakers. Is what you're saying.
I'm a sneakerhead. You know what I mean? I'm Reefa, aka Fillmore Blunts, aka the fitted girl, aka the sneaker chick. I got them for days. I got titles like I'm a queen or something,
Okay.
It's like you should make your own book, encyclopedia, like all your definitions.
That's interesting. What's been going on with you?
Man, just grinding, man. Working, not day and out. Being the best that I can be, to be honest with you.
What about you? How about you? What you got going on?
A lot going on. We're still getting things together here in the studio, so working on that.
But it's coming together.
It's coming together. Baltimore Music Awards coming up,
which I will be there. So,
yes, we'll all be there.
Come out.
So I've been working on new music. So I'm working on the EP also.
Okay.
So
all right. Making moves out here.
High Roller Records.
Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to High Roller Records.
Yeah. So it's work. That's it. That's pretty much it. And a lot of things going on in the news.
Yes.
Crazy.
The detective that was killed.
Yes. Here in Baltimore City.
Here in Baltimore,
Sean Suda.
Yes, that is true. So they have raised the
award.
Yeah, reward
to $215,000.
I found them.
I say it again. $215,000.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, so
which is more than any other Baltimore City officer.
And I got a question about that. Like, out of all the officers that have been killed in Baltimore City, this guy right here, $200,000. Like, what's going on?
That's like winning a lottery.
Commissioner Davis says that he feels the gunman is still in Baltimore. He said
he's Baltimore City Police.
Okay. So he said, of course. He said that he does not feel that the person jumped on a plane and went to France or something like that.
Of course not, because he clocked in at work the next
day. Come on, man. Like, and that's one thing I never understood. That's just like, let's go back, 3 years ago when an officer got killed by Select?
Right.
By his own colleagues?
Right. And we really
That's what they call friendly fire.
Right. Friendly fire. And like I said, we are from Baltimore. We are I say we now live in a 5-degree separation world. Remember, we used to live in a 6 degrees. That means I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows you. Right. Now it's so small that, it's more of a I know somebody who knows somebody who knows you.
Right.
For example, hey, Steve.
That's my big bro over there.
But no, I just feel like in that situation, what makes this guy so special from all of the other police that have died?
I wouldn't say that this makes him special because they want to try to find the killer.
Okay, but what about all of those other police officers who we know who killed them, and still there is no justice, and still there is no $215,000 reward for?
Let me interrupt real quick. This man, now, prime example, how many killings we have? Probably I would say a year in Baltimore.
Right now we're probably 365 on a 365,
and half of them are all cold cases, right?
Right,
including the police,
right.
So this one, I just
there
feel
have
like
been rewards for other killings as well.
There are, but how high?
Not like this one.
Never been this high.
Well, that's I hate to equate it to this, but the Powerball. Sometimes the Powerball is high, sometimes it's regular. It just depends on
a degree of a. I don't even think I remember seeing $100,000.
It increases by
reward.
What, day by day?
Yeah, like by the fourth day, it was $200,000.
Here's also the other thing you got to keep in mind: the reward comes from somebody. So somebody's putting up the money, and it's probably a police-related organization, and they can determine whether they want to put money into something or not. Public outrage plays a fact in it. The way that he was killed. A plane. Well, he wasn't in uniform. So
let's get into that.
All that kind of stuff. All that kind of stuff.
Let's get into that. How he was killed.
That just makes it even worse because you're with your partner.
Yeah.
And your partner is knocking on someone's door. You're somewhere else. If I'm thinking logical about this situation, I would expect that the partner that's knocking on somebody's door would catch fire before the person that's in the street or wherever he is doing whatever he's doing.
Let's put it in a scenario real quick. Me and you are Baltimore City officers, right?
Okay.
I guess forewarned. Prime example. You go to knock on the door, someone comes out shooting. You get shot in the head. Right. How does the killer get away? Are we running?
Right. Like, that's what I don't understand. And my partner did not get hit at all.
Exactly.
Whatsoever. No ricochet, no bullet.
All right. So
nothing.
What if y'all are partners? What if Reefa went to the front door, you went to the back door of the residence?
Right.
So you going, say it's in the middle of the block. He's got to take the walk down the street, hit the corner, up the alley, back to the residence.
Right.
You're in the front of the same building. I'm in the back. Let's just say Reefa gets struck by the bullet and the potential killer leaves out the back door. You never had any contact with because I came out the other way.
Now in that situation,
which could have, and you know how most of our city houses are all detached. I mean, all attached.
I'm sure someone heard shooting though. Like he didn't have his silencers on his own.
That's what I'm saying. Like
and he could have not heard it as well, being because the way the way a lot of, I think it was on the west side where it happened at, but a lot of the houses
Bennett
are like
Parkway,
that.
Yeah.
You can easily.
Wait a minute. Let me tell you something.
What street? What area?
Bennett. What is it? Bennett Place.
Yeah, what's the main street near there?
What is the main street? Because we was there yesterday.
I think that's you know what? I can't even think of it. I really can't.
I'm not sure.
Let me try. I'm gonna check on that.
Whatever the circumstances is, nobody's life is worth ending at the end of the day. So let's make that clear out of the conversation that we're having.
Yeah, this man had a family, he had a wife,
and he had responsibilities. So
what about all of so y'all don't want to talk about any of the conspiracy theories at all?
That's what I'm saying.
Because there's plenty of them out there.
Absolutely.
What I'm saying. There is when you have multiple stories coming out at the same time, it's normally the truth.
Fremont. That's the main street.
Okay, so that's the Harlem Park area.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the Harlem Park area. That's what I was thinking.
Which is there's police station not far from
right around the corner. Absolutely.
Like that. And that's another thing.
They've had a lot of violence, but see, let's keep in mind this. There's been a lot of violence in that area. With the police, I'm talking about like negative energy with the police, not more.
Because that's right around the corner.
And it's the same area in Freddie Gray, generally speaking.
That's what I was about to say.
It's the same general area.
Yes.
They not really friendly with the police around there anyway.
Not at all.
Understandable.
No. Understandably so.
Which makes this 10 times worse because, like I said, this comes at a certain time in the year, number one. This comes at
What you mean, like the holidays?
Yes.
It's the holidays. It's also election time.
Okay.
We got
a year.
Let's be real.
It's a year away from that.
This is a lot. It's a lot. And then
I don't think any of that has anything to do with this killing, though.
Listen, you'd be surprised what they put in front of us for us to take in, so that whatever they're doing in the background does not come to light.
Right. Okay, so let's address some of these. Let's address some of these. So y'all feel as though the reward should not be where it is?
No, I'm not saying that. No. Because a human life has no value
at all.
Okay.
But what I'm saying
I think it has some value. I think it depends on whose life it is.
No, because if JJ get killed right now, it's not going to be a $260,000 reward.
Yeah, that's true. But if JJ's family is wealthy, there will be. So it comes down to where is the reward money coming from? There's not like this magical
police department,
but there's no magical reward pot that happens.
Okay, that's fine.
The money got to come from somewhere.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. But just as you can come up with $215,000 for this one particular person, which nobody is saying that it's a problem with, I hope you can come up with that same $215,000 to open that PAL center for these kids so they can stop shooting each other.
Exactly. Right.
Because that's the problem. If you take all of our activities away,
closing down Boys and Girls Club,
guns out here, what do you think they're going to go to? They're going to go to guns and grains.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I guess some of the things that strike me as weird is that they're not releasing a lot of information on this. And the way that they're saying it is like they don't know. For instance, the
streets is talking. I
know the streets always talk.
I'm about to say the streets don't.
They know.
I'm saying the streets is the streets, but I'm talking about as far as official statements. They're not confirming whether or not he was shot with his own weapon. They're saying that they're looking at the possibility that he was shot with his own weapon. They should know the answer to this at this point in time.
But you have to understand something. To say that this man was overpowered and shot with his own weapon
doesn't make any sense.
Speaks value.
No, it can't happen. Is what I'm saying. It can't happen.
Value.
It's impossible.
It's impossible for him to have been overpowered, shot with his own weapon, if he's doing some type of, so however. Somebody could have shot him with his own weapon, but it would have to have been another officer.
Right.
Now, wait a minute. Look at this. And I'm not even trying to be racist on this note, but it's always a black officer that loses his life.
That's not true.
I haven't seen before him. What was the other guy's name that got shot at the club? Select.
He's got a point.
Where you going? Where you going with it?
He's got a point.
I feel like
in
this.
Baltimore, Maryland, there has not been that many Caucasian
officers that has lost their life. And the reason, and I'm speaking on that because
in the Freddie Gray case,
exactly,
the white officers didn't get as much of a punishment as the black officers got. I mean, we all see the systematic.
I still don't know where y'all going with that.
We're just saying.
Are you saying we shouldn't be police officers?
No,
negative.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying you be what you want to be, but you be it at your own risk.
And be careful on what you're doing.
Let's address some of the other rumors. Some of the other rumors are that he was involved in some type of cooperation against other officers.
Yeah,
commonly referred to as snitching.
I don't believe that.
Even if that is the case, some people feel like that he deserved that.
No one deserves to lose their life, regardless, whatever the case is. No one does.
Agreed.
And if you want to
police officer or not,
and if you want to get
this man has a wife,
right,
kids,
right,
and family. Like
you don't know if that man was the only one working.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't know if that man had so much riding on his career for him to be what he was, because he was a young guy.
Killing is not the answer, regardless of who you are.
Nobody ever is gonna condone killing unless it's in a self-defense manner, or war, because then war that's what you do. You have casualties.
Now, war. Let's play the other side for a second. Let's say somebody was on the run or had done something wrong. Police officer shows up or encounters them in some type of way. They may feel like that was self-defense, and they took this officer's life in an attempt to get away.
Again, I hate to.
He was doing his job.
I'm about to say, I hate to.
I'm sure he just didn't address him to just address him.
That's why they have compensation for when you die in the line of duty. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because that's the risk that take.
That goes back to your money thing,
but
also because there are things set up for officers that do die in the line of duty for their family and the such. So they do have access to a lot more money than what the average has access to.
This is what boggles my mind right now, because they're saying the suspect might have been injured.
That's what they're saying. They're saying,
how would you know? Was it blood trail from how do you know that?
Right. So if that's the case, did y'all already test the samples that were
I will say this, it's still kind of early, because let's go back to completely unrelated, but let's go back to the Troy Ave shooting that happened in the club in New York a couple years ago. Remember, initially they were saying it was one thing, but upon more investigation, we had a video of the guy discharging a weapon, point blank, That's what you thought. But then you need to see what happened leading up to it. So more than likely, I'm thinking that there was some type of a struggle that happened, and maybe the officer discharged the weapon. Maybe the killer shot was shot. Maybe they were fighting for the gun.
It could have been a accident.
And maybe both people were shot.
So
the person could be dead.
Is that on the officer, or is that on the lack of training that he was provided for in the academy?
I don't even say that. I'm just going to say you could be confronted and surprised. I think they could have been fighting for the gun.
I think,
and it could have went off.
You got
to both people could have got shot.
And you got to think about both ends of the spectrum here. You got to think about it from the criminal. Right. I'm trying to get away.
Which one? Which criminal? The bad crooked cop criminal?
No. I'm talking about.
It could be a crooked cop.
I'm sorry. We do. That's
crazy.
Know. That's crazy. You got to address which criminal you're talking about. So let me be clear.
Am I lying?
About the regular, everyday criminal that be outside. Yeah. Let's be clear. When you're a criminal and you don't want to go to jail, it is flight or fright. You're gonna get away however you get away. It is what it is. But if you're an officer, you're gonna get that takedown by any means necessary. It is what it is. So both assume a risk. Both understand that if I pull my weapon, whether I have a weapon and I pull it first, or you have a weapon and pull it first, my nigga, we gotta be ready to shoot because one of us it ain't coming out.
When you're in that type of neighborhood, the guns is already out. So I mean,
absolutely.
I just don't understand.
Absolutely, but I mean,
also people watching or listening, want to chime in 404-436-1277, 404-436-1277. So, is there any scenario that the officer can be the bad guy, the deceased?
I don't think so. No, not at all. If you're just doing a field investigation, you're only asking questions.
If
he is crooked in some way.
Okay.
That's the only possible
way.
If
it comes out that the officer was what they call a dirty cop.
Right.
And he was involved in, because there was a sting or whatever there was 7 or 8 whatever dirty cops. If he was involved in any of that kind of stuff, and this killing happens, will public opinion change about this? Just because he has a lot of kids.
I think it would still be a half and half, because like I said, nobody wants to see anybody die. But at the same token, again, when you are out there,
not a police officer anyway. No.
Right, but when you're out there and you're doing that type of stuff, you have to understand what comes with that type of activity. It's the same thing with a drug dealer. You may get rich in the 80s, but by the 90s, it's trickling down. And by the 2000s, you either out or you dead.
I just feel like it's more info into it than what is being presented.
100%. 100%.
It just doesn't make any sense.
100%. There is no way. I mean, no way that Baltimore City is going to put out there that another police officer did this, even if it happened that
because
way.
We've already
There's
had
no way they would.
They
would pin this on somebody else before they put out there that another officer did this.
Right.
Yeah, there's no way. It's no way they would put out there. They would suppress that information before they put that out there.
We're already corrupt as it is. We've been proven to be corrupt.
If you're the government, you can't put that out there.
No,
you can't. You couldn't. There's no way you could do it, because this city will go. Oh my God!
The first riot. Listen, the first riot, I had people calling me like, "Yo, you need to get out the city. Get out the city." This time around, they gonna be sending the tickets, telling us, "Come on." Ain't even no if you, just come on, because we gonna burn. We gonna London Bridge is going to go by.
You think that people would react in the streets if it came out?
I think so.
Yes.
If it came out that a cop did this?
Yes.
Oh my God. Do you understand?
Why would they react like that?
Because the thing is, this is what we're tired of. We're tired of every time a cop does something, they get paid leave and then they come back.
Not even just that, but just get away with it.
Right. You know what I mean? There's no justification.
So let me get this straight.
Nothing.
Y'all think that if they put out there that a police officer did this,
but I don't even think that would come
people would react negatively to that? I disagree with that. I don't think that people will react negatively to it in the way that y'all talking. I think if they try to pin this on somebody,
it's a black man.
No, listen,
first of all,
they would if it came out that a police officer did this, right? And that nothing happened to that police officer, right? The person that died no longer is looked at as a police officer. He's going to be looked at as another African-American man that has been snuffed out early.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
I don't look at it like that.
In that situation, if nothing happens to that other police officer that we know did it after proof has came out, yes, we're going to go ham, because then at what point are you going to start holding people accountable for their actions? You can't even hold them accountable if they kill another officer. So what's stopping us from riding?
That would surprise me if that was the reaction.
But let me ask you this question: was you surprised that all those officers got off on the Freddie Gray case?
Right.
Was I surprised? Yeah. I was disappointed.
And were you surprised at the reaction?
I was surprised at the reaction.
Why?
Although
it's frustration.
I went to the funeral, and at the funeral, and I talked about this a couple times. At the funeral, they was passing out some flyers saying that they was going to Mondawmin. They had flyers, and it was also word of mouth. They were saying it was on Facebook, like all this different kind of stuff. So we had cameras and stuff there, and they was like saying, so they were saying they were going to Mondawmin, and they was ready to turn some shit up. Oh, this is probably a couple hours before it actually happened. So they was saying. Like, it was like, yo, you got cameras and shit. Yo, don't even go up there.
Right.
Because this is great happening. Right. So I was like, all right, cool. So I wasn't going up there anyway because I ended up coming. Well, I wasn't here. We was at another spot. But I ended up going. Matter of fact, no. Did I go there? No. Matter of fact,
I watched
it. It was just crazy. Matter of fact, I didn't go up. Matter of fact, I didn't go up there. I was downtown. But the point of the matter is that I knew in advance it was out in the streets.
Right.
It was a lot of tension. At the funeral. Right. It was people that was outside that didn't go in. It was just a lot of tension.
Right.
So when the whole rioting, quote unquote, happened, I was actually downtown, but I was able to see a couple buildings. Well, one building that I saw was on fire. That was East Side. I was able to see from where I was downtown. It was kind of crazy. But were you outside during the uprising?
Yeah.
So I was downtown. So I lived downtown at the time, and I walked from City Hall area. I guess probably about 8 blocks to where I lived, and it was just like outside. It just felt different. It just felt like it was definitely something in the air. It was you could definitely feel it in the air.
I was in a building and I could feel it in the air.
Well,
so it was I was at work.
Okay. So the crazy part about it is I live maybe like a 5-minute to 10-minute walk from to Penn North.
Right.
So I'm right in the thick of it. Like I'm really right in the thick of it.
Yeah, I would say really, about 10-minute walk.
About a 10-minute walk, 5-minute if you walking briskly trying to catch the bus. If you just walking, it might be like a 10-minute. However, it's fast.
And if you're getting chased by a pit bull,
or you're just trying to get past all the dope boys and all the drug addicts and everything on the way out. But no, I actually was.
But I can't see. The thing is that
was out that
but
night.
Because he's a police officer. Coming full circle, Freddie Gray, even though Freddie Gray, some people might feel that Freddie Gray was involved in whatever he was involved in, he's still a civilian.
And at that particular
a police
moment,
officer,
he wasn't doing anything
that we know of.
That we don't know what he was doing. But all I know is because we don't know what the minutes before. Right. We only know what we saw right then. That goes back to the
not even what we saw, just what the media said.
But not even that. I mean, if you look at his record, we have video of the arrest.
I mean, but even with the video,
let's go back.
Picked up.
Let's go back to 5 minutes before the video picked up. We don't know what happened.
He could have been yelling.
He could have been doing a lot of stuff, and that's possible.
But that doesn't mean his life needs to be snuffed.
Oh no, definitely not. My point, no, but definitely not. But did people?
But he didn't die until he got into the vehicle, so we don't know what happened outside of that.
He definitely was in pain getting in the vehicle.
I'm about to say at the point
that wasn't a normal arrest.
Listen, But I don't care what nobody say. The video that was out first from whoever's cell phone clearly showed that man was in what you call distress. Distress means
when you balled up like a pretzel, of course.
Now let's go back. Let's go back to Freddie Gray for a second.
And help that man right then and there.
Let's say that Freddie Gray did not die in that vehicle.
Okay.
Let's say one of the arresting officers died. Because it was a tussle, right? Would there have been outrage about this officer dying?
With Baltimore City, yes, of course.
No.
With the civilians?
No, not at all.
I'm going to say no only because at the end of the day, it's the same. I think the same rules apply to police that apply to humans when we go to court.
Civilians.
Which means civilians. I say humans. I mean, because that's how they treat us. That's how they treat us. But no, I feel like if something happens to you in the commission of doing wrong, you are still liable. Do you understand?
Officer or not.
Officer or not. So if me and Ma are out and he does something bad, but I'm with him, I may not have participated, but because I was there and I was in commission of that crime, I'm going to be charged the same as he's going to be charged. So
what if you didn't know that a crime was happening?
What do you mean? If you hear somebody yelling out, I'm in pain, and you do nothing to help that,
they could be lying though.
It's a lie.
But
it's
okay,
a lie.
but still.
So you talking about good cop, bad cop? Is that what you mean?
As a servant of the public, your first duty, just like a doctor, should be to do no harm. So I don't care whether a person is faking or not. And you should stop, make sure it's not faking. If he faking, wait.
Now let me ask you this, right? Now, what you just said, he's saying I'm in pain, and then you take the cuffs off, and then he breaks loose.
I'm not saying take the cuffs off.
And I'm sure that's happened plenty of times.
Of course.
But that's why I'm not saying take
and they may have been thinking like, because they're not trained medical people.
But that's why you're supposed to get on that radio and you're supposed to call for a bus.
But let's go back and look at this thing like how we would. If you two are officers, this is y'all beat, y'all around here every day, right? Mm-hmm. You know the who's this one or that one, and they know you too, because this is where you work at. Our relationship is tense. Now I gotta arrest somebody who I see all the time. We always talking shit back and forth. You ain't gonna treat him the same way you would literally somebody you just got to call and you never been in this neighborhood before. They be around that neighborhood a lot. And so it's just, I'm sure that there was a relationship between him and them that probably wasn't good anyway.
Again,
so they probably was like, fuck him. But and he made us run or this or whatever it was.
Listen, again, that goes back to the old days when you used to see the police outside and they used to interact with people instead of harass people.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's harass. I mean, if you have a one-on-one, if you're working that site every day, you know who the bad guys are.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. It's just like a respect. It's like a camaraderie. If you come around,
everybody don't have respect.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Most
times are different too.
Right, but most niggas
because they fear police. Well, I wouldn't even say fear. I would say respect back then. They had a relationship, the community and law enforcement.
I've been around certain situations. Like I'll take downtown for example. When certain police officers come out, the boys down there will give them certain police officers more respect
because of the rep. Maybe
you know where you're at. First of all, you better come correct
but also because of the rep.
Get your head bust.
We know that, but besides that,
we had different ones that worked. Well, they would have different officers that would work the Hammer Jacks when we was there.
I remember that. And there was about 7 of them.
Yeah, and certain ones, it was like Sarge. Well, he's been promoted now,
right?
But he ain't play, and everybody knew.
Right.
Don't play with him. Right. There was other ones that was a little bit more. You can have some conversation.
They might let you get like 3 sales in for they come and say, all right.
Yeah, but Sarge, he was a Sarge then.
Right.
He did not. He was like one of you did not fuck with at all, and his rep was whereas though they knew.
Right.
And so I just think certain ones just got certain respect levels, and other ones don't. But he was respectful,
right?
But he ain't play at the same time.
And it also has to do with parenting at the same time because the generation is getting younger.
But that's not even. I wouldn't even say that.
Yeah, because
you can be
stuff that your mother taught you is not the same stuff that you may teach your child, and your child might not do. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't say that, because you can have the home environment where your mother and father teaches you right from wrong, but in your mind you might think, hey, especially in school, people follow. It's not enough people leading right now.
Well,
everybody want to be down.
I mean, well, we live in Baltimore, so
that's anywhere you go. I wouldn't even say just Baltimore. That's anywhere you go. People be like, "Oh, I gotta leave Baltimore." Here. Why? Because the crime. Same thing is happening here is happening everywhere else.
That's what I don't buy. I don't buy that I gotta leave because of something. Because I feel like if you cannot make it in your home state, the chances of you leaving and going and making it somewhere else is going to be the same as if you was home, because you're only running from something and you're not running for something.
Going back to what you said, with them closing down programs. Now, as a kid growing up, you had football, you had basketball.
We had the dirt bikes on Sundays, the car clubs on Sundays.
The budgeting, as far as what the city council says, they don't have enough money, they're shutting down everything. That's what's really going on in our community. And then you have these
What
kids.
Do you think that directly affects crime?
Yes, absolutely.
How so?
Because
they have nothing to do.
Right. Because if you keep a child busy, like it's like you ever see them shows on TV where the mother say, "Oh, my child has no free time. My child goes from basketball to baseball to football to soccer to music to ballet to whatever."
Those absolutely, but those are all things that the parents set up.
Understandable, but at the same time,
so parents can't set up stuff for their own kids to do.
Not if they work 2 or 3 jobs just to survive.
And not only that, if there's no programs available in the area. Do you understand what I'm saying? I grew up.
So you think that if we had more programs, these kids would be in the programs?
Yeah.
What about the young adults that are too old for the program?
We need programs for them too.
Where does the money come from?
Yes. The thing is with that,
where does the money come from?
If they're in those programs, it gives them some type of hope or some type of direction.
Right.
Maybe. I'm not going to say, I would say maybe 70%.
Because some people just use these programs just to stay out of whatever situation.
But then you still have the a-holes in there. So.
But what I'm saying is, like I said, when I grew up around White Lot. My rec center was John Eager Howard. We had parties. We had they would have it where we could skate in there. They would have trips. We had like a little mini.
We still had crime though.
We still had.
You're gonna have crime regardless.
You talking about the crack era? That's the crack era.
I'm not that damn old.
Well, you talking about New Jack City? What you talking about the 90s?
But what I'm saying is, there was stuff for me to do.
Crime was not affected. I mean, crime. I don't think crime would be affected positively or negatively. I don't think it affected at all. I think that people can still do crime and go to.
It's not as bad as it is.
And go to the rec center.
We're in the top 2.
And now it becomes another place where we can have transactions at. Now you can go get your weed from the rec center, or you can stay around the way. It's just gonna be another place to do crime. I don't think it's gonna.
It's just the babies, man. These babies are the actually ones that are doing the killing.
We cannot control you once you get a certain age.
It's nothing to do in the streets.
You before, maybe there's a little bit of hope. Maybe there's a little bit of turning something around. Like I said, I had a rec center to lean on. These kids don't have that. What after school programs do they have? They didn't cut the bus tokens, so now with that cuts the amount of time that they have for after school programs. Most of these kids are latchkey.
Yeah.
What we saying is it's not. We're not saying that we'll cut crime out completely, but it wouldn't be as high as it is right now.
Right.
I don't know if I agree with that, because I know that when I was coming up, they had, we had the rec.
That was the
I didn't go there. I didn't go there. I didn't go there like that. But my parents didn't put me in no programs. However, I was in music. I was, mixing and learning how to mix. And I found something for myself to do. But I had a lot of guys around the way who was on the corner that the rec and all these shit was available, but they were still doing the shit that they wanted to do.
I mean, we all.
And it didn't make no difference.
But you still had
something to do.
Not even just something to do, but prime example, I was watching something on Facebook Live the other day, and these kids have no respect for
nobody.
The elder. They beat the hell out of a lady because they didn't want to give up the seat.
That's true.
I mean,
But that is Rex could correct that.
Yeah, I mean,
no.
If they had something to do, they probably wouldn't have been there.
That's the parents.
No.
The parents didn't teach them.
It does start at home. However, like I said, most kids are latchkey kids, meaning when they get out of school, their parents are not there. Without
working 2 or 3 jobs just to try to survive.
Without supervision, like I said, I didn't cuss a couple kids out on the bus too. What you being so loud?
But not even just that. Think about it. But
that comes
She's
from
at work,
their
right?
parents.
Wait a minute. She's at work. You're getting out of school. You know mommy's not home.
Nobody's
You
home.
hanging around badass Billy and Jane, okay?
Okay.
First thing you're gonna do, you might not have that mind frame where I can think for myself. If you see them two acting a donkey and you want to be friends, what are you gonna do?
That's what you're gonna do.
Fine.
But if you had supervision,
I hear you.
I
hear you. But here's the thing: the kid probably don't want to go to the program. The kid probably wouldn't have gone.
It's not up to them.
I'm about to say no.
As a parent, you make their ass go.
If that, now y'all back with the parents again.
No,
you can't have it both ways.
No, you.
I thought y'all said the parents was at work working 2 and 3 jobs. Now,
but what I'm saying is, I want you to call me when you get there or text me.
You don't have to do that.
You can't say that.
You don't have. That's ridiculous.
No, you can't say.
You can't have it both ways.
But you cannot say that all kids would not be interested in a program if it was offered to them.
The kids who will go to that program are not the ones that would have committed the crimes. The ones who have committed the crimes wouldn't go if there's a program or not.
But you got to understand something. Without those programs, you got a lot of followers. So you got more drama on top of what's already existing.
I watch the ID channel, honey. Sometimes it be the most quietest people that do the most dangerous and ignorant stuff.
Here's the issue I'm trying to make. Me and my sisters came home. Our parents wasn't there. Okay, we had stuff to do. Our parents held us accountable. We couldn't just be out doing. We had to be in the house doing stuff, and there was checks and balances, and the foundation was set up. So we didn't talk to adults crazy and all that kind of stuff. Some people don't have those things in order. They go out in the streets and they do whatever. But if there was a rec center for them to go to, they just wouldn't go there. They would still go in the street.
No, not only that, because it is illegal to whip your child's butt.
That too.
That plays a part.
And there's no longer a such thing as it takes a village to raise a child.
That plays a part.
Because it's always, don't you tell me how to raise my child. Don't you give me no advice.
Absolutely.
I'm the mother. I'm the one who sat in labor and raised them.
Well, not even just that. The mother and the daughter is about the same age. So
right.
Like, you don't think nothing wrong with it anyway.
The younger generation are having younger kids, but like I said, I was the type of person. My mother wasn't home either, but my sister was in charge of me. My sister had dance practice. I had to go to her with her to her dance practice. Guess what? I ended up liking dance so much that I ended up dancing, which gave me a nice, good cushion career that by the time I was 17 years old, I could have said that I retired as a Tiny Toon.
Not even to interrupt you on that.
That was available for me.
Let's go back to basics. You knew if you messed now, I'm sure old school. You knew if you messed up, you knew you was gonna get your ass whipped by your parents. Kids don't fear their parents anymore.
Because I can call the police and get you arrested for
that's true. So you have to find another way to incentivize.
That's what I said. If you have these programs, like I said, we live in a city where dirt bikes is everything. Get these kids a dirt bike ride with all that.
No, we're not gonna do that.
No,
the devil. No,
just listen to what I'm saying. If you
warning, no dirt bikes.
Just listen. If you give these people, if you give these kids an alternative,
I feared my mother. I'm sorry.
But
to this day, right?
Yeah, but because
my mom coming here right now, I'm like this.
But you grew up in an era where the laws made it okay for you to whip you.
But there's another. Who cares? It's ways to do that.
So
it's ways to do that.
You take away the phone. You don't pay the bill. You the computer. It's just something else. But you can.
But it's nothing like to know that your parents like, yo, look, I will whoop your ass and go to jail, but knowing, nigga, act the fool again.
Listen,
I'm gonna be like, oh shoot, like
These kids is so advanced. You can't threaten to take a device away from them. What's that?
But what we're saying is. If you feel your parent,
they don't have any money.
You ain't gonna act a donkey out here, regardless of whatever the circumstances is.
If that's the case, there's no hope, and we should just say fuck it then. There's no way to control it then. You can't beat them. You can't take nothing away. Then fuck it. Everything's a loss.
I mean, I'm never gonna say that.
Choke the hell out of them.
I'm never gonna say that because you should never give up on your kids.
So then we got to come up with a solution.
However, if the government keeps stepping in and making it impossible for us to raise, because that's how they get their jail numbers up. If we can't discipline our kids, they are able to do it for them. Hence, Meek Mills is sitting in jail because he ain't gonna give it the
she just want to keep coming back to Meek.
All right, coming full circle before we get off this topic. The police are saying that the officer's weapon was fired, and they found shell casings with an S. They won't say how many.
So that means that
so that weapon was taken from him.
So that
in other words, fired multiple times. His gun is the only gun found on the scene. Obviously, there could have been other guns.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
So did they do the ballistic test? And did the ballistic test come back showing that there was only his weapon that was discharged?
They haven't said that. They just said that the ballistics.
I sounded smart, didn't I?
The ballistics matched his service weapon, and they have not said that whether there was a second gun at the scene or not. But they only concluded that his gun was fired, and of course,
so is no fingerprinting on a gun.
But they haven't released that part yet.
See, that part
I don't understand. Come on, man.
Because we're trying to they trying to figure out how we want to spend it.
But so now that you see why I asked why did they do the ballistic test? Because if you did a ballistic test on the shells, did you do a
if I shoot you, they'd have found me last week. I'm sorry. That just doesn't make any sense.
The same day.
And so the commissioner is trying to spin this as an attack on American policing.
Listen.
So there's also some unauthorized GoFundMe's that are supposedly supporting the families, of course, if anything.
The people of Baltimore, I'm sorry to cut you off, but this is really pressing. To the people of Baltimore, don't believe the hype. This is just a cover up.
Well, we'll see.
We'll coming.
We'll see what happens.
Well, I look at it like this. This is a black man. Okay. If it was Paul or Jimmy or Lou, they'd have found him. Now, I remember this. I don't know if y'all remember this, when it was a county officer that was shot at Jared's jewelry store, and I would say the 90s.
Yeah.
They found those two.
Yeah, but it depends on a lot of things. Somebody can do a crime and get away with it. It happens.
If you allow them to.
Well, I mean,
listen,
it's no way. It's not. It wasn't just. And then my question is, the part is not saying anything.
If Biggie and Tupac's killers got away in all that traffic
because the government killed them.
You can get away.
The government killed them.
Listen,
we got to switch topics in a second, but
I feel like this. I do hope that they catch the people, the persons that are involved in this, because like I said, nobody's life is worth this. Nobody. But at the end of the day, what we're really getting at is they really pick and choose their battles wisely, and you can just kind of see it. It's blatant. It's there. And we just pray for his family.
Absolutely, man. Like I said, he was a good dude, and he didn't deserve that. He was doing a job. Period. That man put on a uniform every day to risk his life to do better for the community. So I just think justice, whether if it was a cop nor a cop, come forward. Period.
Speak your piece and let your Lord fight your battles.
Turn yourself in.
Turn yourself in. Man.
Well, if that is the case, or somebody's trying to collect $215K, they can call 410-396-2100.
Nobody is calling.
Or they can call Metro Crime.
That's too much like right. No one is calling.
That's an El Chapo.
Then you got to testify in court and all that. No one is calling.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna switch gears real quick, but definitely want to remind people that Flywire and TFP Entertainment presents Genesis, the reunion. Saturday, November 25th, Thanksgiving weekend. So 9:32 a.m.
They gonna have food there.
Radisson, downtown Baltimore. As I said, brought to you by TFP and Flywire, and all that good stuff. So Radio on Fire will be in the building, covering the red carpet and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be fun. That is next Saturday. So definitely make sure you are in the place for that. A lot of ticket locations, Eventbrite and others. So we're going to shift gears